Welcome back to the RV Shenanigans podcast. My name is Ryan.
I'm Lauren, and together we are Millers in Motion. We sold our ranch in Texas and are now enjoying new adventures in our Alliance Valor.
And we are coming to you live from the 2024 Alliance. Oh, it is an Alliance, but from the 2024 Florida RV Super Show. And we want to say a huge thank you to Alliance RV and everybody involved for letting us crash their party here in the booth. We've got a nice little setup between a Delta. All the Deltas, actually.
All the Deltas,
I can see a Paradigm over there. So big thank you. We are excited to have our very first guest of the podcast here at the show, Mr. Coley Brady, co-founder, owner, head Alliance, ally, whatever you want to call yourself, man.
Guru.
I love it. The guru of Alliance RV. That's it.
There
Excited
you go.
up in a strong fashion, and we're about an hour into the show, kicking off on Wednesday. It's great. Love it.
Well, we can't say thank you to you guys enough for a lot of different things because we wouldn't have our really cool home if it wasn't for you guys starting a company. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah. No, we're excited about you guys being in the Valor, and love tracking you guys all over the country. It's been awesome.
It sure has been.
So if you don't mind, I'm just curious, how did you get into the RV industry initially?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was actually born in Elkhart, Indiana, the RV capital of the world. And so growing up in Elkhart, you're around RVs your whole life. My dad actually was in the RV industry, and he worked, had a career in the RV industry from a very young age. So I was around him and saw him go to work each day building, you know, he was primarily a Damon motor coach back in the late 80s into the 90s, and worked summer times with him from time to time. And then he actually, with a group of guys, started a Heartland RV back in 2004.
Okay.
And I joined them in that first year and worked alongside my dad there for about 8 years with my dad, and then I was at Heartland actually for 15 years. So, you know, really it's just kind of grown up in the area. I went to Notre Dame, right in South Bend, close to where Elkhart is, and then lived in Chicago for a few years, but I was always gravitated to come back to Elkhart, and something about the RV industry kind of grabbed me, and really have had a great career and loved every minute of it.
Very cool.
Yep.
So what was that moment when you guys were, you and your brother, I guess, kind of going through everything and then just decided, you know what, it's time to do our own thing?
Yes, we were thinking about it for a bit. You know, Ryan and I worked at Heartland together, so I was with my dad for about 8 years, and I was with, you know, Ryan actually, overlapped for about a year with my dad and me, and then Ryan and I together for the last 7 at Heartland from like 2012 to 19. But it was really 2017, 2018, even in early 19, we were talking through, and we had seen all this consolidation in the RV industry, you know. We saw Grand Design get acquired by Winnebago, and I think it was 2016, and we obviously, Heartland was acquired by Thor in 2010, and we just saw, you know, after that it was, you know, KZ, and a number of guys were just getting acquired, and we thought there was a really good opportunity for an independent manufacturer. Guys that were really close, guys and gals, not General Neutral, that were close to the consumer, listening to the consumer, getting their feedback. And so we really thought there was honestly an opportunity. And so we jumped in with both feet in early 2019. We left Heartland, and we really took those first 6 months just to listen to the consumer. Didn't do anything with product, just listen, kind of trying to get ideas. We brought in Bill Martin, who's our VP of customer service, and really kind of went to a plan to market with a plan that was really being customer obsessed. That's one of our core values. Is you know, how do we obsess over the customer? How do we take care of the customer? And that was something that we've lived from day one. And so again, we thought there was an opportunity, and it certainly played out to work out quite well for us here.
I love that that's how you started it, was by, you know, just observing before you actually did a whole lot. That's great.
Yeah, we did, and we opened our Facebook group really early on, kind of talked about what we were doing. It was awesome through prior connections and people we knew. We had 2,000 people on the site like immediately within like 30 days.
Wow.
And the feedback was pouring in. And so we were able to kind of get all this data. We had a big whiteboard, and we were able to hear recurring themes of things that people wanted in their RV. You know, they wanted a carpetless RV, a small thing, but it's what people wanted, and nobody was doing it at the time. They wanted a flush floor kitchen slide. You know, we did a flush floor kitchen slide in the Paradigm. They wanted a soft close toilet. You know, it's just little things that we kind of heard over and over that we incorporated into the product, and really has translated to a winning product, winning brands, and a winning company.
Super.
So just out of curiosity, what were you guys doing or kind of hoping to set Alliance apart from the other manufacturers out there?
Yeah, we thought, product is key. You got to have good product, but I think it's the customer experience. Back to one of our core values of being customer obsessed is how do you obsess over taking care of the customers, but be it through product, but also it's very, very important on the back end when it comes to customer service. And so those are things that we try to do to differentiate. And then I think it's building that community. You think the community of allies, we have a number of them here today at the show, and you'll see them throughout the week at the show. We're actually having a party at the campground tonight with probably over 100 allies of our customers that'll be just kind of mingling and hanging out. So we thought we could separate too with the community we were building. And so, product to consumer experience to, the community of allies out there were all things that we tried to do to differentiate.
You can definitely tell your community is fantastic. And they always show up for you.
They do. And we did a rally, year number 1, a national rally. That rally continues to grow each year. And now you're seeing regional rallies kind of pop up. And so it's definitely a growing community. We've produced over 15,000 RVs since the beginning, and we've retail sold over 13,000. So we have thousands of customers and allies across the country and across Canada, and even we're actually overseas. We have a few RVs that we've shipped over to Europe, and so it's kind of cool to see the brand going worldwide.
So is there going to be a dealership overseas at some point?
There is actually. We do have a dealer in the United Kingdom. So they are currently bringing in. They brought in, I think, 5 Paradigms and maybe 2 or 3 Deltas. And what's kind of cool is initially they're renting these RVs, the Paradigm, out to Formula One drivers.
Interesting.
So it's pretty cool. So you'll see if you follow Majestic RV, they post occasionally on their Facebook group, and these race car drivers and their teams are staying in Paradigms, which is kind of cool.
That's interesting. I was going to wonder how the market was overseas because the roads are totally different and they're more conducive to smaller. So I didn't know who your market was.
And that's why I think they're starting to bring some Deltas in, because I think those will sell now that we got those going. But the 395 DS, the double seat, the dual suite, that floor plan is what these race car, the F1 guys are staying in. So with their teams, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I will say we are doing this live, so obviously there's planes and people, and hi to everybody over there, by the way. If you have questions, by the way, we have a QR code you can scan for any of our guests, not just Coley, because I've kind of cut the Coley ones off, sorry.
All good.
So if anybody out there wants to ask some questions for any of our upcoming guests, because this is just show number 1 of 12.
It's going to be a busy week for you guys.
It's fantastic, though.
But the good news in podcasting versus video recording is I can just sit here.
Yeah, it's quite the setup. I'm really impressed with what you're doing right now. So
Thank you.
Good stuff.
We're super appreciate it. So kind of getting back into the RV stuff, because that's why everybody's here. With your very first rig, floor plans, which obviously was a Paradigm, for production, what was the goal for that unit?
Well, it was to really meet customer needs, not what we wanted to do, but what we knew the customer wanted. And so the very first Paradigm, we came out with the 370 FB, full FB, front bath. So that was our first floor plan, along with the 310 RL. And those 2 floor plans, which we came out with at this show 4 years ago in 2020, are still in production today, and they're actually on display here this week. Those 2 floor plans were kind of the 2 that got us up and off the ground. And those were the products that we were, again, back to what does the customer truly want. And so when we came to this show, we had 4 RVs on display, 4 Paradigms in 2020. And we sold in that first show, in our very first show, before people knew who we really were, we sold 21 Paradigms.
Oh, my goodness.
With
they
4
must
on
have
display.
seen something they liked,
They
right?
did. They totally did. And you have guys like Rob Boyer bought a Paradigm at the show. He's here. He's actually working with us now. We got George Walker and his wife are here. And so some of these allies that bought at the very first Tampa RV show are still here and part of our community, which is really cool.
So the very first one to sell RVs was Tampa?
Yeah, well, we had, so that was like the 3rd weekend of 2020. We were in the Denver show, and we did really well out there. I think we sold like 14 at that show. We were also in the San Antonio and Fort Worth show ahead of Tampa that first year, and those also had pretty good shows. So we knew we were onto something pretty early.
Yeah.
And again, it was people like George Walker who's standing here that bought it that first show and have been allies ever since.
So does George just have the name George the OG now, or what's his Grand Poobah of Alliance owners? What is it?
He is like the OG, El Presidente of the club, whatever you want to call it. He's the guy that's really throwing the party tonight.
Yeah.
You talk about the ringleader and the organizer. It's George.
Perfect. So, using the core values that Alliance was formed around, as we've kind of talked about throughout this whole thing, what do you see Alliance doing going forward?
Yeah, we truly live the core values every day. You know, I mentioned the one, the customer obsessed, but we're also relentless improvements, a core value. So we live that every day. Is how do we drive product improvements? How do we drive marketing and customer experience improvements? Those are things we live every day. And then we're devoted to relationships. So we're devoted to our community. We're devoted to the vendor partners that we work with. And we're devoted to our team at the end of the day. And so how do we improve those relationships? And the underlying mission statement is do the right thing. So it's fairly straightforward. It's fairly simple, but it's something that everybody can grasp and everybody knows that our company, that at the end of the day, we do the right thing. And that's in every plant, production facility we have those core values and that mission statement to do the right thing. And again, it's something we live each day.
I was going to say, it's one of the first things I noticed. I know Lauren didn't get to go into the factories quite as much. We did when we were picking up our rig. There goes a sign. It is live again.
It's all good.
So that was one of the first things I noticed, because if you walk into any of the plants up there, which, by the way, how many are you up to now?
So we are we manufacture product out of 3 plants today. We'll be in 4 plants by spring. And then we have a lamination plant in the back, which is 120,000 square feet. So all of our laminated sidewalls, all of our welded parts, aluminum welded parts come out of there. And then we have an accounting HR office, and we have a couple of buildings for parts service needs. And so what is that? That's 1, 2, 3... we're up to 8.
Wow.
So we're up to 8 buildings.
With you always listening to the feedback and always adapting to that, is there something that you see a need for that you're actively pursuing?
We think over time we'll have a customer service building. So if there's actually like service related work, we do it right now out of the factory. Eventually we'll outgrow that, and we're going to need a standalone building to do just strictly service work. So I would anticipate that's about a 24-month out building that we'll have. But that's one of the things I would say is on our radar for the future.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think we customers like coming back to the factory.
They do.
We actually have the national rally that you guys have been a part of and are going to be a part of again this summer. But so when people come to the factory, you got to have the facilities to support some of the service work. And so we're doing it today, but I think we could do it even to a greater degree tomorrow. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just in talking with you when we picked up our rig a little bit, just some of the stuff that you've talked about, trying to always put the customer first and drive, it's truly, especially at this day and age when there seems to be, and not just in the RV industry, but really any industry, there's just a lack of want to do the right thing, if you may.
Yeah, I think and that's that connection too to the end consumer. Now we have our dealer partners are phenomenal people, and they give us feedback, and we get that real time. But it's also nice to have the customers, the product owners, coming directly to us at the factory, because we get real time feedback.
Right.
You know, and that's again back to relentless improvement. We get to hear firsthand how our products are performing out in the wild, so to speak, and that's good to have that
And
feedback.
we experienced that firsthand with our Valor. Is whenever we got into it, we said, "Hey, these things could kind of be tweaked."
Yep.
And now they're tweaked.
And they're tweaked.
And this was just mere months ago.
That's right. So it's nonstop, and we don't wait till model change to make changes to the brand. We're always evolving throughout the year, and if there's a small tweak we can make, whether it be where the door handle is or whatnot, even if it's a small thing, we'll make those changes real time.
So is that something that you guys set out to say, just don't wait? Because a lot of manufacturers do like a mid-year update kind of a situation, so almost like a B version.
Yep.
And that's just the way they are. They, even though they know they need to change something, they just wait for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're always evolving. There's product change notices that come through weekly. We have product development meetings every week. So we're always talking product, and we're always evolving throughout the year. Now, big model change stuff, like if it's graphics or wood changes or stuff like that, that will happen at a certain period of time. Usually it's in the summertime we do that. July 1 is kind of our model change flip over time period. July 1 to August 31, somewhere in there. But yeah, so it's real time. Product development's real time. Every week we have meetings.
Is there a streamlined way that consumers can submit those things to you?
Yeah, usually we're picking up off of Facebook. So the Facebook social pages are really kind of the best way to do that. But we have representatives here at the show, and they can do it face to face. We got you can private message us on Facebook, so that's all real time. And there's so many different channels and ways to get that feedback back to us, and we're always listening.
Very cool. So for a second, I just kind of want to talk about a few of the things that you guys as owners really try to push forward. Is there, like, between the different lines themselves, is there something between the paradigms or the deltas or the valors that you guys put a little more emphasis on, or is it really everyone's kind of your baby?
Everyone's the baby. Everyone's going for a specific product need, and everybody has, as RVers, there's so many different desires, needs, wants. You got a value. You want the garage, right? And people in the paradigm want more living space for full timing, and you got of course the Delta that's lighter weight, easier to tow. Same with the Avenue; it comes down a little bit in height, a little bit in weight, and those things are all unique and all require attention. And so they're all our babies. They're all great brands. They're all performing at a really high level right now in the market, and I anticipate that'll continue.
So I did not clear this question with you before, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So if I put you on the spot, I'm sorry, especially in front of, just Rob right now. I'm sitting over there on his phone. Okay. So do you have a favorite model?
Well, I go back to the beginning, and so I have a special place in my heart for the 370 FB and the 310 RL. So those are the two originals, Paradigm that is.
Right.
So those are my two favorite. Now, if you look at the new stuff, I would say that 38 DBL Avenue is pretty sharp. It's a double suite floor plan, double DBL, double unit as far as bedroom space goes. So that's a brand new one that just came out. So be looking for that one on the dealer lots here this spring. So
if you don't mind, what's the new hot thing this year for Alliance? What's the thing that's here at the show potentially, or even not? Maybe there's something secret you want to let out.
Yeah, well, I think the Delta. I'm going to go right to Delta. Delta launched last year. We had a launch party in May of last year, so a mere, 7-8 months ago.
Right.
Those products are just getting to dealers now. That's a huge segment of the industry, travel trailers, land-based trailers especially. So Delta is kind of the hot ticket right now, and our dealers are craving more and more product. And it seems this product is early response is one, quality. Product quality has been really good, and two, the product has been turning quickly out there. So that's the new hot shining object. It's our newest brand. That brand is what I'm really excited to see perform and sell here this show season.
So have you noticed, obviously you guys try and pay attention to industry trends just to try and stay ahead of the curve as much as you can, like any good business should. What have you seen in the industry that's pushing Alliance forward that you are adjusting for?
Well, I think we made a big move in marketing. It's kind of you probably weren't expecting that answer, but we saw on the marketing front there. We about this time last year, we hired in a guy by the name of Joe Mel, and we've really kind of focused a lot more on Instagram, TikTok, even the YouTube. So that seems to be an area where we've kind of. It used to be all just Facebook, and everything kind of came through Facebook. Now we got a number of other channels, and we've kind of evolved there in the last year on the marketing front, and I think it's paying off because we're still a relatively new company, and so brand awareness and people are still learning about our company, and so that's been something that we've kind of drove in the last 12 months, and it's kind of been good for just product awareness.
So
Super.
That is actually a great question with you guys being a newer company, because you guys were 2019, right?
Yeah. Launched in 2019 when we started the business, but by the time we got product developed and into shows, it was, as I mentioned, the January of 2020.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So with that being said, did you notice for the business side, obviously you sold a lot of rigs kind of post-COVID because of the influx of people to the RV industry, but did that help the business, or do you think it actually maybe hurt the business in any way?
Well, we knew we were onto something really good. January, February, ahead of COVID, obviously March, COVID hit. We were in 19 RV shows, so we had a lot of product, and it was just Paradigm at the time. Only one brand, just Paradigm. And that product was really doing well. It was resonating with the end consumer. We were getting to shows. There goes the golf
I was
cart.
about to say, speaking of Joe Mel, we hired him, and he's about to get fired. I'm just kidding.
No.
But we knew we were onto something. So it was the product was selling. It was doing well. Dealers were loving it. And then COVID hit, right, in March, and we were forced to shut down for 5 weeks. Only 5 weeks, by the way.
Right.
Wow.
We came back pretty quickly. RV production was deemed essential by our governor in the state of Indiana, so we could get back into production fairly quick. And we needed to because dealers were looking for it. People were living in these during COVID. They were traveling, a little bit of isolation, and so RVing was kind of. And then, as you guys know, RVing exploded coming out of that. So, I mean, it was good for us. We sold a lot of product coming out of that period. And but I can tell you this: the industry is kind of throttled back just a bit here in the
We've
last
noticed
12 to 18 months, and that's even been better for us because what's happening right now is dealers and the end consumer are gravitating toward the best products. And this is really when we as a company are shining. And while other guys are shutting down plants, we're opening up plants. While other guys are only running 3 or 4 day production weeks, we're running 5-day production weeks. And that's great for a number of reasons. One, it's great for our team. And 2, it's great for product quality. When you're running 5-day weeks and you're consistently doing it without disruption, you can build the best quality product. And that's where I've really kind of been excited about our trajectory coming these last 12 to 18 months is we're growing while others are declining.
So, right back into the hot seat over there, which you are in the sun, so you're actually in the warmest
I like
seat.
it feels pretty good over here.
It is a chilly morning here
is a
in
little bit.
Florida.
Yeah, but the sun is out, so that does feel pretty good.
I was going to say, when I come to Florida, I was promised sunshine and palm trees, and right now I'm cold.
Yeah.
And it's been rainy yesterday, which was fun to work around. But so if anything, like what's next for Alliance from the RV's perspective, or can you even talk about
product
it?
related? Yeah. So I think we're trying to round out all the product lines. We've got Delta needs to have a few more floor plans. We're working through that. We're always, again, trying to, we have a new floor plan on the Paradigm. It's called the 375 RD. It's a rear den. That's a cool, awesome floor plan.
We saw that. It is fantastic.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I think that'll do pretty well here this week. And so we're just always evolving, introducing new floor plans. We'll introduce a couple of new floor plans in each brand per year, so nothing huge, but enough to kind of continue to make the brand great and keep it great. Past that, I think we're planning on in the fall having a high-end travel trailer avenue.
Oh, okay.
So that's something, if I give you a little peek behind the curtain, that's something we're working on.
You do remember we're broadcasting out, so you're giving all of these people a peek behind the curtain.
Well, they're getting the peek too.
If they're paying attention, they just got a secret.
That's right, they did. And so I would anticipate this time next year will kind of be that debut. Maybe Hershey, but it's which is in September of this year, but likely it's about a year away.
Very cool. So I have one random question that we're going to leave for a second, but I do have one listener question for you that somebody submitted. So this is from Eric from Colorado. He said, a couple of months ago while shopping for fifth wheels, a longtime RV dealership owner told my wife that Alliance was looking to potentially sell the company to one of the larger corporate entities. We all know who those are. They pretty much just ask, is that correct, or is there any intention there from the company's perspective?
No, it's not. And we've been approached, and people see what we're doing, and things are going well. But no, we have no intention. We're younger, and I'm 45 years old. I feel like I've got a lot of room to run and enjoy what I'm doing each and every day. And not that I couldn't enjoy what I did if we did sell, but we're not, and we have no intent of selling.
I got to tell you, that makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, I think so, and I think our team, we just have a good thing going, and the culture's so strong, and so we don't want to disrupt that. We want to keep that going for years and years to come.
Very cool. So this is my random question that has very little to do with the RV industry and more to deal with you. So if you weren't in the RV industry, what do you think you would be doing?
Well, that's a good question. Catch me on the spot.
There, you're welcome.
I think I've always had a passion for entrepreneurism, and I saw my dad back to the RV industry with my dad. I saw him, he was an entrepreneur, and it's always one thing he said, if you believe in yourself, go out and do something on your own. And I think I would find a way to do something unique that was focused around being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And, we've talked about golf. I love golf. I'm not sure if I could find something to do in the golf to be an entrepreneur, but I would find some sort of business that was, I think, customer centric and do it in a way that I could, I like to hustle. I like to take care of consumers. I think that's something that's I'm passionate about. So I probably would have found something that I could do in business on my own. So, yeah.
Very cool. So is there anything else that you would want anybody listening or anybody watching here today to know about Alliance? You can talk about your brother if you want, good or bad.
Yeah, well,
he's not here to defend
himself. He's not here
himself.
to defend himself. You're right. No, it's been great working with him. We've worked together in the past, all good on that front. I think what I would say is this is a good year for Alliance in that you're going to see more and more of our products at various RV shows across the country. I think last year was a year where dealers were hanging on to maybe 22 model year stuff that they wanted to sell. I'm talking about 12 months ago.
Sure.
And so they were bringing some of that product into the shows. Now dealers have fresh inventory, 24 models. We're kind of projecting out. We're probably double our presence in 2024 show season compared to 23 show season.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So I would tell the consumer or the RV enthusiast that's listening to your show that be on the lookout because we're going to have a lot more product in these shows across North America, and I'm really excited to see how
That's
it does
awesome.
this
We're
winter.
glad to be a part of it. It's exciting.
It is certainly exciting.
Well, I know I said this at the beginning of the show, but we can't thank you an absolute enough about not just for the company and the community that surrounded the company, because that for us was a huge factor, was getting involved and feeling like you're part of something versus just a number in the field, if that makes any sense.
It does. It's been awesome. So.
Well, that is going to do it for our show. Coley, thank you so much for joining us. And again, anybody out there that's listening live, thank you for coming by, saying hi. Thank you for submitting questions. We have more shows coming from the 2024 Alliance. I did it again. I'm so happy about Alliance. I just keep saying that.
The Alliance Super Show.
The Alliance, well, it is going to be an Alliance Super Show. I would agree with that. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But we do have more shows coming from the 2024 Florida RV Super Show. And again, we can't thank Alliance RV enough for giving us some space and some topic ideas. So thank you so much, Coley. Lauren, do you have anything left?
I'm good.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you next week.